Spider-Man is a hard character. Shocker, I know. See, I have played a little too much Spider-Man, to the point where when I swapped back to Moon Knight, my first main, I couldn't aim with him. Yeah, I couldn't aim with Moon Knight. That's how long I've been playing Spider-Man for. After that, it might be time to throw in the towel for a little bit, play some other characters. But, before I do, I would like to share a few combos that I've learned over my time playing him. I've not played very much competitive, though I have played some competitive Spider-Man. I'm mostly a casual player, so take it with a grain of salt how useful these will be. And I will have the input legend up on screen for you to view now. Now, bear in mind, there is a mechanic that I use throughout most of my combos that a lot of Spider-Men don't really take advantage of. You can bind the targeting variation of web pull to a very different key, allowing you to do things like use base web pull mid-combo without getting rid of a tracer, or pull somebody with a tracer to you instead. Now, for certain combos this is necessary, which is why I suggest you bind it, and at least one combo in this video won't function if you don't have that setting turned on. Use the R key for binding if you want something a little bit more fluid. It doesn't mess with the typical layout of Spider-Man's abilities. It is right next to E. So that makes sense in my head. You can make it whatever key you want. But it is something that shouldn't be understated, because you shouldn't have to sacrifice the ability to CC somebody out of position by playing the game. Because that is a very powerful ability, and it is very understated how powerful it truly is to pull somebody out of position where they cannot fight properly. Now on controller, I believe the best input to bind it to is Y or triangle. I don't know which one because I don't play on controller, but I'll leave that up to you guys to find out. And trust me, this will do wonders for your performance on Spider-Man. And I'll have a couple of sections for practical advice after the fact. Roll the tape.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, woo! Now I got you. Spider-Fish is ready to party. Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man. Gonna get sticky.
Now, let's move on to practical applications of these combos with some assistance from my good friend, Custodian Cosplayer, who you can find on Twitch using this handle here. He's the one playing Luna and Hulk in my background footage here. I may also have my brother Spirit in a few clips. He doesn't have a social media presence, so I don't have a handle for you to use. First and foremost, target priority. Spider-Man, while geared to killing healers, isn't the best at taking them in a 1v1. You can definitely do it, but if that healer has any amount of self-heal, or a CC or an escape tool, they can get away really easily. In fact, before I reset my YouTube channel, I had plenty of footage in a backlog of me fumbling healer kills because they simply outplayed me because they saw me before I saw them. Spider-Man is actually comparable to a character in TF2, which is Demoman, or more specifically Demo Knight, a subclass of Demoman that is created by adding a sword and a shield over his weapons of a grenade launcher and a, well, empty beer bottle. This comparison is based on the fact that both of them are something that I like to refer to, and a few others do, as an advantage pusher, meaning they have higher health and other advantages to push, they win most fights. See, Spider-Man wants to attack targets that ideally have about 3 factors going against them. Now, I'm not the best at explaining this, so bear with me, it's going to sound a little screwy. First factor is health, obviously. Lower someone's health pool, and more specifically the more damage they've taken, will make them primary targets for any Spider-Man who knows their stuff. So you see, Spider-Man's basic combo, which is, I didn't even show it. It was M2 into web pull target into uppercut. That is your basic bread and butter combo, or at least I think that's what everybody refers to as bread and butter. Even still, that is a very basic, simple combo, and if the enemy is very low on health, it'll kill. So, low health targets are your priority, thanks to that. The second factor is immediate threat. If a team fight is going on, 9 times out of 10, the opponent's team won't be able to turn and shoot you without exposing themselves to your own allies. This is Spider-Man's ideal time to strike, from behind in a team fight. This factor, in fact, is comparable to a different TF2 character. If anybody knows who the Spy is, the Spy gets a lot of its value out of attacking during team fights specifically. If he have fights outside of them, he usually loses fights even against characters that don't have as high of a damage output. So Spider-Man is a lot more of a team player than people realize, just like Spy. This is the third and final factor, which is also a little iffy at times. Is the target a healer? A healer has a larger responsibility to heal teammates and stay alive than the rest of the team would ever have. You lose a DPS, not a big deal. You lose a tank, can be a big deal, depending on the outcome we're talking about. But if you lose a healer, it's a lot more of a blow. So these players are very busy guys, and can get stretched thin very easily with that pressure. They have to keep their whole team alive, keep themselves alive, and fear whatever lurks in the backline. If anyone on the team will be a good psychological target for a brawling flank, it's a healer. However, Factor 1, I would say, personally for me, overrides the rest. As Spider-Man is the easiest, like in all of the damage characters, Spider-Man is the easiest to chase down low health targets and confirm kills against people who otherwise would get away. So if I see a good pick, I go for it. And I would suggest most people do the same too, because the more eliminations you get, the more value you tend to get. Granted, if you're able to get a healer first, do that. If you are able to get a healer first, if a healer's low health at all, take that opportunity above all others. Especially if they don't know you're there. That is how Spider-Man gets his maximum value. Is it going to come around often? Probably not. Not as much as one would hope. But if there's ever a gap in the backline's defense, well, you have an opportunity to try something at least. Spider-Man is also able to CC opponents with the non-targeting web pool. This is one of the main reasons I decided to, have a new bind, is because, sometimes it calls for the original version of this move, rather than the targeted version. This move can at best kill an opponent by CCing them off stage, or pull them into a combo, and then at worst, you will pull an enemy out of position and do, quote-unquote, damage over time due to blood pressure levels. This is a great thing to use to tilt tanks in particular. They're the easiest to hit with this version of web pool, so they're pretty easy CC targets. You will make tanks hate you if you do this. But if you can hit a healer, once again, go for it. Also, one last piece of advice is to learn your limits, and specifically learn what is the best time to cut and run. Spider-Man has the movement to enable great survivability, so it should be used. Lots of casual Spider-Man I see will dive in and never dive out, even after they get a kill. This isn't like playing Big Earn or Spy or Doom. Sometimes you really do have to take the L and get out of dodge. Because, Spider-Man is very squishy and easy to kill without his web swings. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope that the combos and advice I lined up serve you well. Remember that even with this knowledge, the only way to get good is to practice. So, rise up, Spider-Men and Spider-Women, and get to fragging your opponents. Remember to subscribe with notifications on for more content like this. Likes and comments go a long way to helping me grow my YouTube dream. Also, at this stage in my career, I will definitely see every comment. So if you have questions, ideas, or criticisms, feel free to send it my way in the comments below. See you in the next video. Bye-bye!